Ulterior motives are not surprising. After all, the first casualty in media these days is often the truth. The recent Newzroom Afrika interview with a Canadian immigration consultant commenting on President Trump's refugee offer for South Africans is one such case. The consultant, Mr. Nicklin Avramis, mixes a few facts with outright falsehoods, ostensibly to inform the audience, but more likely to frighten off South Africans, discouraging them from applying for refugee status to come to the United States. Now, even a somewhat reliably objective news media outlet in South Africa, where there are so few, is even pushing the narrative. The headline in Malcolm Liberia's business tech story reads, "South Africans looking to leave warned of permanent mark on their records." The South African government has strongly condemned President Trump's executive order, describing it as misleading and based on misinformation. A permanent mark, oh my. The GNU has condemned the offer. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Scary indeed. Oh gosh. I'm frightened. Interestingly enough, Liberia's story is largely accurate, with quotes from a host of sources, accurate quotes in the correct context even, but then it goes off the rails. A warning to South Africans considering the move. Canadian immigration consultant Nicklin Avramis has warned Afrikaans community to be cautious with the recent policy announcement from the United States, encouraging South Africans to make asylum claims based on alleged human rights violations. Well, folks, I'm sorry, but it's time to rubbish this nonsense yet again. First, Trump did not encourage anyone to make an asylum claim. He offered refugee status in a country where folks who are not even refugees. A generous offer, to say the least. Not unprecedented. We've had in-country refugee status granted before in places like Cuba and Bosnia and Herzegovina, but it is unusual. Now, Avramis is an immigration consultant, and he does not know the legal differences between asylum seekers and refugees. Not a good start, Nick. According to Avramis, making an asylum claim comes with consequences. It's essentially a mark on your record and will have to be explained every time one applies for a visitor visa to another country. Well, regardless of whether he's correct, it's not germane. This is not asylum. When applying to visit another country, immigration officials need to be satisfied that you will return to your home country. Well, Nick, that's the case in every single border crossing, not one limited to asylum seekers or refugees. Every time you cross the border, officials are interested in whether you're going to return to your home country. However, asylum is a clear indication that you want to leave your home country without the intention of returning. Well, yeah, that is what asylum is. It's a true statement. But sadly for Nick, you cannot apply for asylum unless you're in the United States. Again, his point is moot. This is not asylum. It's refugee status. It's not asylum. It's refugee status. Is that clear? Is that coming through? Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Now, Avramis advises South Africans to focus on immigration programs that were created with a genuine intent to attract skilled workers as opposed to ones created in politics. Now we get to the crux of the matter here. Focus on immigration. Let's see, immigration is a process that requires lawyers or consultants who make a ton of money off of you. Vice being a refugee, which is free of charge. There's no cost to becoming a refugee, but immigrating is very expensive. And what is this gentleman in? He's in the immigration consultancy business. Gee, I wonder if he has a motivation to tell you to try to immigrate to Canada, vice apply for refugee status in America. You think? Maybe? Possibly a conflict of interest? Now, he says that Canada is climbing the ladder of countries attracting skilled South Africans to fill shortages faced by most third world countries. Here we go. He's rubbishing the U.S. refugee offer to recruit immigrants to Canada. He says Canada now has occupation-specific draws for various occupations that are deemed a national priority. Yeah, and so does the United States of America. But the subject is not immigration, but rather refugee status. He says there are 37 medical jobs posted in the healthcare category. On the 20th of February, 2025, Canada announced a new education field to attract early educators as permanent residents. Woohoo! Hercules, Hercules. Congratulations. 37 jobs. Now, I assume he means 37 types of jobs, not just 37 job listings in a country of 30 plus million people. Listen, folks, there are far more than 37 job types in the medical field in the USA and a hell of a lot more actual vacant positions. For example, in September of 2022, there were 2.1 million job openings in healthcare and social assistance, according to Economics Daily, which is a publication of the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics. So 2 years ago, when we were in a crisis and there were no jobs, there were 2.1 million vacant jobs. Now, the healthcare sector in the U.S. is experiencing strong growth, with the Bureau of Labor Statistics projecting that there'll be another 2 million new healthcare jobs by 2031. Now, none of that's relevant to gaining refugee status. However, it is an indication of opportunities open to whomever arrives as a refugee. Listen, this is getting very disturbing. This Newzroom Afrika news story, now people taking that and writing stories off of it without even bothering to check the facts. The fact of the matter is, Donald Trump did not offer you immigration, South Africa. He offered refugee status to a group of people being racially discriminated against. Boom, shakalaka, case done, finished, Clar, finished, done. That's it, done and dusted. There's no asylum here. You have to be an American to apply for asylum. We're not offering any great deal on immigration. It's refugee status. He's identified a group of people that would be allowed to come to this country based on their persecution that they're suffering. So all this talk about Canada and high quality jobs and medical care, it's not germane. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Don't fall for the fake stuff. You don't have to believe me. Go read the executive order, whitehouse.gov on the 7th of February. It's right there. Everybody with an internet connection anywhere on the planet, even on Alpha Centauri, if you can get that through a wormhole, can get this information. Go look it up. I have the receipts. This guy is in the immigration consultancy business, and he's looking to get people to go to Canada, which means what? Money for him and his business. I'm not asking for anything except to be well informed. There's no fee to apply for refugee status. There's no list to apply for refugee status. Wait for the program when it's announced by the U.S. government and then take action should you be interested. Again, this is not encouraging anyone to come to America. Certainly not come to my house. Don't sit on my lawn. I hope no one has to leave South Africa, but a lot of people feel they must leave, compelled because their life is in jeopardy. Their opportunities are non-existent because they're being racially discriminated against. I get it. Now Donald Trump has made it possible for you to get here. Wait for the program and stop listening to this nonsense that appears in the media because it's utter nonsense. You don't need to run around with your head cut off like a chicken listening to all these Cassandras tell you that the sky is falling. The sky is not falling. Just wait and be patient. In the meantime, do some reading on your own. You can trust me or not trust me, but at least I'm telling you the truth. Cheers.